Okay. Here we go. I suppose this will have to do. And what I'm talking about, you're about to find out if you're not already noticing the difference. But first of all, welcome. I hope you are having an amazing weekend. Oh, let me kill that sound. What is that? Okay, there we go. I hope you are having the most wonderful, amazing weekend that you can possibly imagine. And now I am not seeing my stream again. There we go. Okay, so I have a few things to talk about. First of all, sorry for the lack of yesterday's stream. I was supposed to be streaming Final Fantasy around 9 p.m., but I did not. Because well, I was pretty much and still am in somewhat of a recovery mode. I My toddler started kindergarten this week, and he caught a bug or something, and he got a fever. So I've been taking care of him, but in that whole process, I've kind of forgotten to, take care of myself as well. So that didn't work out for me, and I just needed a day to just kind of recollect myself and get some sleep and just figure out, how I'm gonna start this weekend. So I did that. Hi, Victor. Welcome back. How are you doing? Uh, my second announcement of the day is that after years and years and years of loyal service, my beloved Mike, not Mike as a person, but microphone as a piece of tech, has died. That's why you're hearing this probably horrible noise. That is actually my voice coming from the microphone that I have on my mini camera that I'm using to show you this part of the stream, and it just feels so bad to go back to the 2017 setup with the mic that just isn't good enough for this. So I'm sorry about that. I will work on replacing the mic as soon as possible. I actually thought I had it fixed yesterday, because Philip dropped by, and he was able to like open the mic and do something. Well, nothing really, just kind of rearrange it and close it. And then when we put it back together, it was working again. And now I kind of reattached it to the laptop as I was carrying it to the kitchen, and like I put it back in again, and there is no sound once more. So that is a big problem for me because that mic was something that was really valuable to me because of like all the things that I've been, I don't know, like everything I do is connected to that mic, recording, streaming, even talking to people, and I just really really miss my mic, and I'm sorry if the sound is not as good as it could be. Hi Lunith, welcome back, and Morgan, welcome back as well. How are you doing? The sound sounds good. Like this camera thing isn't the worst that you can possibly imagine. It's not like shockingly horrible. I thought it would be. I mean, this mic might just have to do until I get a new one. So I don't know. Like I don't know if it's good enough to record audio on any of my other videos, but it will have to do. So I'm sorry for the time being, which is the next few days. We will just have to make do with this one. So tonight I will be streaming Final Fantasy as per usual. I do have my mic on my headphones. That's the new headset, but I tried to get it to work now, but I wasn't sure what the mic was called. Like when I attached the hardware to the laptop, I am not sure like what the name of the mic is. And I couldn't determine in these like short 5 minutes whether or not the sound was coming from that headset mic or not. So my task for tonight will be figuring out what the name of that headset mic is, so that I can use that one. But if all else fails, it's good to know that at least I have this mic for the time being. It shouldn't take me more than a couple of days to get a new one. Well, a couple of working days, I guess. And today is Saturday, so I'm sorry, guys. It is what it is. Definitely one problem at a time, and there's a bunch of problems. So, tell me about it. How have you guys been? What's up? And today, what we're gonna do is we are going to make cheese risotto, and it is this thing over here. I am very excited for it. This one comes from Thanalan, and I don't know if you were here when I read the Thanalan description from regional description or whatever. But I will read it again in case you were not. Those cute little stories are actually kind of fun. That line does not appear welcoming at first, but the rugged terrain, sprawling deserts, and daunting mountains give way to a unique culture with excellent dishes. The city-state of Ulda has wealth and expertise not seen in many other places. Very fancy, very extravagant. And nothing shows that wealth and extravagance better than my favorite theme park, the Manorville Gold Saucer. I've seen, however, that the material wealth doesn't extend to all the many hardworking citizens who work the land to earn a living. Yeah, so that other people can, live their extravagant lives, right? Feels bad. Doesn't extend to, okay, earn a living, making a very interesting contrast in the regional cuisine. That's the story of Thanalan. Very exciting, very sad for all the Thanalan people who have to work so that other people can gamble at the Gold Saucer, and that is all of us. Anyway, there's like a little description for the cheese risotto as well. And it says, there is a nice little tavern called the Colfer and Coffin out near Blackbrush Station. It was full of mercenaries and miners on break, but everyone was pretty nice for never seeing a Mughal and a Namazu traveling together before, Kupo. Actually, based on the looks we got, I don't think they've ever seen a Mughal or a Namazu ever. I was a bit hungry, and the owner whipped up a fantastic treat, a cheese risotto made with wine fresh from the tap. Even in the, we don't have that, but we'll work it out. Even in the rougher parts of Highland, you never know when you'll find something delicious, Kupo. Well, knowing what or who Highland is now, it just kind of makes the sentence. I don't know. It always makes me feel weird to read this, but we're gonna do no spoilers today, so I'm not gonna talk about it. I know that pretty much everyone here has seen it, but I do advertise these streams as non-spoilers, so for anyone who watches later, don't want to talk about it. Anyway, I haven't actually prepared the ingredients up front, but what we need to do is, okay, in a medium saucepan over medium-high heat, combine the chicken broth, rosemary, and bay leaf. Bring to a boil, then reduce the heat to low to keep the broth warm. Medium saucepan, like 1 liter. Okay, the saucepan that I have is not going to do, and I'm gonna have to bring in another one, but that's totally fine. So I think okay, that's 5 cups. That's like 1.25. Oh wait, actually, add onion, garlic, and parsnips. Okay, add the rice. Do you know what? Huh. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, I know what we're gonna do. So the first thing, we need to do the chicken broth thing over here. Like in this recipe, we use chicken broth, but we're not gonna use the chicken broth. I'm just gonna use like the normal soup thing, like the vegetable soup cube thingy because I don't eat chicken. Rosemary sprig. I don't have the full rosemary, but I bought rosemary like in a baggie as a spice. 1 bay leaf, we can do that. 3 tablespoons or 45 grams of butter. 1 diced onion. 3 garlic cloves, minced. 2 parsnips, peeled and minced. 2 cups or 425 grams of arborio rice, 1 cup or 125 milliliters white wine, 200 grams of cottage cheese. I have somewhat of a cottage cheese. It's not the real cottage cheese, but it will do. 3 ounce or 90 grams wedge Parmesan cheese shredded. I have that. Salt. We're not going to use pepper because I'm allergic. And there's furikake. It's like a spice. I think it's like a Japanese spice. I don't have it. So we're gonna skip it. But I don't know if I would like it anyway. There's like a little quest thing here that I wanted to read. It says the locals like to only use cottage cheese for their risotto, but I found that the extra flavor from Parmesan cheese really elevates this dish, which is what we're going to try to do. We need to combine chicken broth, rosemary, and bay leaf. Bring to a boil, then reduce the heat to low. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get myself another pan. Yeah, because I figured that the chicken broth thing is actually going to be quite how do you say with a lot of volume, as in like voluminous or something like that. I don't know the word, but what I want to say is there's going to be a lot of it. Maybe I should have just said that uh, in the first place, but it's okay. I think this is actually a pretty cool meal. It is made with wine. I'm not sure if you are fans of cooking with wine, but uh, it should be pretty nice. I have like a nice wine in the fridge, but I decided not to obviously use that one. So I went to the store and got the cooking wine, or the wine that people drink when they're out of options, because it is the cheapest wine. Yeah, that's what we have. But I just want to quickly rinse this one because I'm only planning on using it, but we will do it today. Well, goes back. Voluptuous. Is that an actual word? Really? Voluptuous? Oh, and one time I still have to get my breakfast. You know what? Like, I take a while with these meals. Like, it takes me such a long time to make them. But, like, if you're actually efficient, if you know the recipe, if you know what you're doing, this can be done in, like, 15 to 20 minutes. The fact that it takes me, like, an hour is totally my fault. And, uh, and I would even dare say that this is not the worst breakfast food you could ever have. Yeah, like the white wine, the one that you use for cooking. Like I don't know how it's like packaged over in your countries, but this is pretty much what it is over here. It's just like it's like wine in a. Is this how you get like cooking wine or not? But over here it is what it is. So what do we need for the broth? Combine chicken broth, that is going to be 5 cups or 1.25 liters. Alright, I got that. Let me see. Where are these cubes? So basically I'm using this as a broth. It's pretty much the same thing. It's basically like how much? Half a liter. So they want 1 cube for half a liter. And we're having 125. We're gonna use 2 cubes of these. Okay, there we go. We're gonna use 2 cubes. We ordered a cooking wine. It comes in a big box with a bag of cheap wine inside. So what does that cheap wine actually look like? Is it in is it like in a carton thing that I just showed you, or does it look different? Okay, let's do these two. And I'm gonna need a liter and 25. I don't really have a better way to measure this. So, like, I'm still figuring out how to measure things around here. I do have like a scale, but the scale doesn't really do this. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna use a blender. Why not? 125. Okay, got it. So they pretty much make you make a soup to use for this, but that's okay. It's a big white box, no label. It's from our supplier. Wait, okay, it's a box, but like, is the wine in the actual box? Or does the box contain smaller containers of wine? Is what I was wondering. Okay, here we go. What now? I keep putting this book away. I shouldn't. Combine chicken broth, rosemary. So we need like one rosemary sprig, but that is not how we're gonna do things. Like rosemary sprigs don't really get sold here per se. I just got this thing. It's like a bag with rosemary. Fun fact: if you have pregnant wives, do not let them eat rosemary. I don't know if you knew that. Anyway, okay, how much do we need? We need one rosemary sprig. So I guess I will just gently sprinkle over that. Okay. I don't know how much they want me to put in. I will just, okay, I will stop now. I will definitely stop now. This is entirely too much. And then they want us to put in bay leaf as well. Bay leaves also are sold in these baggies. Yeah, rosemary is really dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Okay, okay, one leaf. There we go. I feel like a witch. Like putting all these little like leaves and stuff into a into a pot. Feels bad. Okay, and bay leaf bring to a boil, then reduce the heat to low to keep the broth warm. Sure, why not? Are we gonna cook it here? I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna put it on the smaller one so that I can actually have it there the whole time. Okay. What do I do with these? I'm just trying to move my cables because like now I'm having this awkward setup where I don't have my original mic and I was like messing with the cables trying to figure out whether or not my my cables are the reason why the mic is not working, but I think I just need to freaking deal with the fact that the mic is gone. We've been trying to fix it. Maybe I can take it to, I don't know, to like a store or somewhere where they can fix it. But I don't know. Like, do I try to fix it? Do I get a new one? What do I do? I'm so bummed about it. Oh man, I really love that mic. It's so bad. I mean, I guess getting a new mic would be kind of an improvement because I've had this one since 2016. No, 2016, not 2016. Yeah, 2016 actually. And this cam that I'm using right now, the one that's looking at the pot, it is from 2015, I think. So I'm actually quite surprised that the sound isn't horrible. Technically, even if I was to fix this one, fixing it would still cost me money. And there's no guarantee that it won't just stop working because the mic got bumped a few times. And I'm just afraid that even if I invest into fixing it, it will just be the same thing all over again. So do you guys think that I should just get a new one? Like I already have the mic that like planned that I was gonna get, but there was never a really good opportunity for it. I don't know. Maybe I should get a new one. It's gonna be annoying though. I wasn't planning on it, but that's okay. I mean, we have to. I can't stream like this. Like, I know you guys want to be supportive, and I know you're like, oh, the sound isn't terrible, but damn, it is terrible. It is. I know how this camera sounds, and yes, there are these like new things and developments like noise suppression and whatnot that we didn't used to have before. Surprise, surprise. But still, I want to have the best sound I can possibly have, and this mic is just not cutting it. We'll get a new one. We will get a new one. Okay. just trying to break these cubes apart because I thought that they would just naturally dissolve, but that is not happening. Anyway, instead of like just like what is this, like spring soup broth or whatever, you can use the chicken one, and I guess that is kind of what they're um like. I mean, it says here the dietary note in the dietary notes, it says that the meal is vegetarian, and I guess I don't know. It's kind of weird that chicken broth is considered vegetarian because it does have the flavor, but still, like if you're a vegetarian, you're probably not really gonna enjoy the flavor of chicken anyways. And here, like broths are actually made out of like ingredients without consideration for vegetarians. So you will have actual like chicken flavors and stuff. I don't understand how this is a vegetarian meal. Oh my god, it says that what we're making right now is 6 servings. This is all I will be eating this weekend, it appears. That's okay. Cook time is 30 minutes. I guess they're counting in the basically cooking the broth and stuff as the longest one. Let me see. What could we be doing? We could be cutting up the onions and garlic cloves. I don't have to just kind of, I was about to say sit on my ass, but we are not sitting anyway. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna start with that because later on we're just gonna end up wasting time because I was stalling. Okay, how many of them do I need? Should have checked that. Okay, so we need 1 onion and 3 cloves. Do you say cloves? Like gloves but with a K? Is that how it is? Okay, I'll just use the purple ones. I don't have another onion right now. That's okay. That's totally fine. How many of those? 3, right? Alright, these should be fresh. And okay. Like this isn't gonna be boiling for a little while longer. We might as well do this. Okay. So what have you been up to in Final Fantasy? Been, leveling or doing endgame or whatever? Like I started off this like patch in a way that I wanted to do a little bit more endgame, but I realized that I kind of want to have more flexibility when it comes to the jobs that I have available, and I just kind of wanted to try out new things as well to make sure that my job is really what I want. So I've been leveling mostly, and I've been having a lot of fun. I don't really I didn't really go for the creative ways to level, like, I don't know, like beast tribes or anything like that. Like, dungeons are usually enough. Oh, you're leveling monk. I didn't actually know that. Even under melee DPS. Wait, don't you have everything at 80 already? Like, I mean, I consider that being level because in comparison to me, who's starting off from level 1 in all of them, like leveling leveling from 80 to 90 is nothing. You're pretty much done. I know it's not nothing. I know it still takes like a few days, but like how long does it take you? Like when an expansion hits, how long does it normally take you to max out your other jobs and do these like 10 levels on everything? I guess you do have everything except for Blue Mage, if um I don't know. If I'm right. We should do Blue Mage though. I haven't done it. I've been avoiding it for some reason because like everything else just feels more important. But in reality, everything just feels important, and I'm just overall just having a hard time deciding what I want to do. But overall, usually a couple of days for one. Oh well, that's not a big deal at all. That is not a big deal. I wish it would take me a couple of days to level a job, but I am not there yet. Definitely not. Okay, so I'm just basically cutting up the garlic, and then we need to cut up the onion because those things we need for the, I think for the rice thing. We're gonna warm up the broth and then we'll leave it on the side. I'm not actually sure if I'm gonna need like two of the stove surfaces for what's to come because I haven't really studied the recipe. But need to get the skill book filled. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Like the skills you have available or something else? I wonder if I'll actually pull this off. I haven't made a cheese risotto in a long time, and this is definitely not the recipe that that I've been that I've been using. I'm not applying my game time wise these, you know. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not wise. Like you have been busy these days, so if you can do like one thing that is the most efficient one when it comes to leveling, like I don't know, like a front line or even like the MSQ, like why not do that? And to my knowledge, that is what you've been doing anyways. So I wouldn't say that your time is not applied wisely. I'm just saying that you have not really been in game lately almost at all, but that is through no fault of your own. Okay, so alright, so the garlic is done. And all we need is the onion. Basically, they don't say like I don't know purple onions or whatever, but I'm just using that one because I actually prefer them. Like they have like a little bit of a sweeter taste. And I prefer them to the ordinary ones. And normally, when I'm supposed to even like use the ordinary ones, I will just use this one because I like their flavor. Like you can't really tell, I guess, when the meal is cooked, but I don't know. Sometimes if I pay attention, I can tell the difference if I'm making something for myself. So I usually prefer tasting these ones. The skills available for Blue Mage. Yeah, I don't even know the Blue Mage vocab, so that's why I didn't even know what you were referring to because I haven't even started with the Blue Mage. But everyone keeps telling me that you can do it in like an hour, and I'm always like, oh, okay, well, at some point in my life, I will get an hour, an hour or two to level Blue Mage. And as you can tell, that hour has not happened yet. It would be nice to just kind of, have another job at 90 and just have it sit there and be like, woo. Because, I don't know, like, I'm a completionist, I guess, and that's how I approach Final Fantasy. So, so until I'm done leveling, I don't see myself committing to many other things, except for maybe like new raids and stuff. But I haven't had a lot of time to raid either. Okay, so we're just gonna keep it at 1 so that it remains warm. But I think it will stop boiling at some point. Um. Anyway, good thing we have a head start with the onions and the garlic now. I don't have a lot of room. Like when my laptop is in the kitchen, I don't really have a lot of room for all the other activities, and and it's just making everything really awkward for me. But that's okay. All right. They didn't exactly say how to slice it, so I'm just using my preferred methods. I like to slice them into moons and then slice them like across a few times and make like little cubes. That's what I normally do. So maybe like I don't know, like I slice it across like maybe 2 or 3 times and that's it. Because the pieces remain still like big enough for you to actually somewhat taste them at some point, but they're not too big so that it bothers you. But with risotto, it actually like I actually don't mind because onions with rice just taste good, don't they? I mean, I prefer them. Maybe I'm biased. No problem. Have fun. Have fun. Wait, where are you working today? At your old place or the other one? Okay, so the onion is pretty much done, and we have the broth just sitting. So it says in a large pan over medium-high heat, melted butter. Add the onion, garlic, and parsnips. Oh, we need to cut the parsnips as well. And cook, stirring occasionally until softened about 5 minutes. Add the rice and stir to coat the rice with the butter. Saute for 2 minutes, but do not let the rice brown. Okay, well we're gonna need we're gonna need to have more patience with that rice. Okay, let's deal with the parsnips first. We need 2 of them, peeled and minced. Okay. Where's my peeler? Thank you. Have fun as well. Hope you have a good day at work. Okay. So they're not actually 2, but I think they're large enough to count. So, oh, you actually can see what I'm up to. Okay, so I can't really raise my camera higher, so this will have to do. Anyway, I am missing my peeler. I have baby locks everywhere that I just lock for myself as well when my son is not around for some reason. It's a force of habit, a good habit, because he keeps opening the drawers and everything. I'm just gonna quickly peel them. I just drop everything in the sink and clear it later. It's like if you start off cooking with a clean sink, you can just use it as your trash can, and then later on, like I don't know what kind of sink you have. When I was in the States, you would just have a hole to basically put your garbage into, and just kind of, I don't know, deal with that in that way. But we don't have those around here, so I just basically pick up the stuff from the sink after I'm done, so that I don't waste your time or my time, for that matter. Like being left-handed in a kitchen is a very ungrateful job, because normally all the stuff is made to fit the right-handed people, and every time you cook, your kitchen is just trying to kill you, unless you know how to use your tools. But sometimes it gets annoying. Anyway, we have our parsnips, and we need to... Oh, they wanted us to mince them? They said peeled and minced. Really? Ah. Okay. That's fine. Oh, they're actually really hard. Okay. Ah, there we go. That was one. And I'm not sure about the mincing part. Like, I've never done it that way. But we can try something. Not actually gonna mince them. I just want to see how hard this is gonna be to do. So weird. Oh, okay, so they're like... I'm using this this new board thing that I got for my basically for like shredding, and it has like 3 different pieces. I wasn't really sure which one I wanted to use. Well, we're not gonna directly mince them, but I will just I will use the pan that they're actually gonna go into anyways. And I don't know if this is too... is this like too tiny? I don't think so. Like, I think all we want really is the taste. I don't wanna like feel the parsnip. Like, I don't really like them per se. So I wouldn't mind the taste, but I kind of don't wanna feel the structure. It's kind of like a loser carrot in a way. Like, I mean, they're not carrots. Nobody likes them, but they look the same, and they want to be treated the same. They can't be treated the same because they suck as vegetables. Like, I know everyone's always going on about how they're, healthy and whatnot, but I just think they suck. And I'm not even sure I want to use two. Maybe I just use this one and call it a day. They do smell good. And I guess for 6 freaking servings of this that we're making, this is pretty much going to be, well, not enough. But I really don't like them. This one is really hard. Oh. I feel like I'm gonna break the poor thing. Wow, it's taking freaking ages. That's okay. I'm surprised we're not actually adding anything liquid to this, but we're also gonna add the rice to it. I think parsnips are actually supposed to be added later, like way later in the process. Oh, not way later in the process, but not straight away with the garlic and onion. But that's fine. I think I'm just gonna use this one. I'm not gonna use two. There's no way. Like, using 2 of these just makes no sense. And my arms are getting tired. Feels bad. I don't know. It sucks. Like, when you have a recipe that you're working on, and there's like a thing that you really don't want to put inside of the recipe, but you know that your meal is probably going to suck if you don't. So you're kind of, well, not forcing yourself to use it, but be like, well, the people who made this recipe probably know better, and then you decide to listen to them and make it happen against your better judgment. And then when you try the food, you taste the thing that you don't like, and then you think to yourself, well, I can see how this can be a good meal, but not for me. Not for me. And I'm really not liking this pattern that I've chosen for it. I don't know, like, I don't really want to use all this much. I mean, I know it is in the book, but I really don't like the thing. I think I should just, like, toss it aside and just use it for soup later. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I really don't like parsnip. Don't be me. When you make these, you're supposed to use 2, and you're supposed to use the minced, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use a little bit of it, because I keep complaining about it, and if I continue to use it, I will complain about parsnips for 2 entire parsnips, and that is not what I have planned for myself today. So we're going to stop with that immediately, and I will not go back. So, melt the butter. We need 45 grams of butter. I actually have this wonderful brand of butter that actually tells you how much you need to cut. You don't know where it is. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this thing, well, I wish I didn't dip it into onions. That's okay. 45 grams is okay, like up to here. Oh, that is a lot of butter. That is a lot. I'm just kind of not understanding this part where we just like put the rice into the pan without like any water or anything. Hi, Ken, how are you doing? Welcome. I am doing great today. I have actually been very excited about this particular meal. I've been, well, this was the plan for last week, but last week I didn't have my cooking stream. So we are basically doing what you guys voted for 2 weeks ago, and I've been craving this for ages now, so I'm pretty happy that I got to do it today. How have you been? What's up? So we got the butter, and in order to melt it more quickly, you just kind of want to cut it a little bit at least, like that. And I normally cut it into cubes as well. Yes, I have the Final Fantasy Cookbook. That is, these recipes, all of them are from the cookbook. And I've been loving it. It's such a great book, and the recipes, they are deceptively complicated, I'd say. Like when you get the book, and normally, like when you scroll through the pages, you're like, oh, this is too complicated to make. But most of these recipes are so simple. It's like you can make most of them with just the stuff that you probably have around the house. So in a large pan over medium heat, melt the butter, add the onion, garlic, and parsnips, and cook, stirring occasionally until softened, about 5 minutes. And then add the rice and stir to coat the rice with the butter. Saute for 2 minutes, but do not let the rice brown. So I have a different brand of rice. So that the rice that I have is not it's not the rice that they're talking about in the book. So we're gonna do something different. Well, a little different, I guess. I'm gonna add these to the pan, and then what we're gonna do is, yeah, this is gonna be enough. What I'm gonna do is I want to make sure I start cooking the rice at least for a little bit because my rice is pretty hard and I don't want to get into a situation where the rice is just inedible because I didn't spend enough time cooking it and it just behaves differently anyways. So what I'm gonna do is, well, first of all, I'm gonna fry my rice. I'm gonna need like 125 grams or 2 cups. This bag is like 1 kilo, and that is definitely not what we want. Let me see. I have my little scale, but I forgot to buy the batteries, so that kind of sucks. But you guys did tell me how much a cup is. No, there's actually no cream and no milk involved whatsoever. There is a chicken broth, but since I'm a vegetarian, I don't use chicken. I just use like a spring soup broth. Good, going on. Cooking off on 14 right now. Have the cookbook. I've done a few recipes and that's intimidating varied. Not as complicated as it seems. Definitely not. I was actually surprised with how simple some of these recipes are. And do you mind? Like I'm not some sort of master cook or anything. I like my skills are, well, I wouldn't say like basic, but I have enough skills to go by and occasionally make something cool. That's pretty much it. So I would definitely call myself a normal person. Sigurd, hi and welcome. Yeah, FF14 recipes. This is something that you should definitely try because it is so easy. Yeah, the broth will be what cooks the rice, but this rice is not what's it called? I always forget. The arborea rice, this is just like a long grain rice that is very hard. And that one just takes a very, very long time to cook. So what I do is when I do these replacements, I just want to put it in the water and just have it just at least soaked a little bit. And I'm going to put it on probably just like very, very, very low heat so that it starts cooking. Like I know that it's gonna be melted in butter and whatnot, but I just really want to make sure that the rice is at least somewhat prepared before it goes in here. So that is the only real modification that we're doing. Uh, but yeah, the broth comes in later. First thing you want to do is like melt the butter and basically just kind of, I don't know, stir it in with garlic and with the onions and whatnot. But until that happens, I just want to have my rice at least somewhat prepared. I used a lot less parsnip than what I should have in the recipe. In the recipe, it says use 2, but I use like half of 1 because I'm not a huge fan. Like I don't want my meal to just like taste like parsnips all the time because like I'm making like 6 portions of this, and for the time being I'm alone, so I'm gonna be probably eating this the whole weekend because I haven't modified the recipe in a way that it fits a single person right now. So I do not want to eat parsnip tasting meals for the rest of my weekend. So I kind of sometimes I make modifications, but I always let you guys know in case you are following or deciding to make it later, so that you know what it's actually supposed to be like. But you have the cookbook as well, so that really makes things easier. But I've been enjoying making these recipes. I didn't know I was gonna have this much fun with it, but yeah, it's like very simple. Like what you have to do is most of the time very simple, and I think it is in the spirit of like Final Fantasy. Like at first it intimidates you, but then you like log in for the first time and you realize that you can already somewhat, do, I don't know, play some jobs or do some content that you don't really need like a big brain for or whatever. And a lot of recipes within the Final Fantasy cookbook are like that as well. So yeah, the recipe is feeding the whole family for sure. But I'm gonna be alone for the rest of the weekend, and let's be honest, this is gonna be my most ambitious meal for this weekend at least. So I will be pretty happy to have leftovers for tomorrow, maybe day after tomorrow, judging by the amount of rice that I'm making. But I will combine this probably with like a salad or maybe soy bits or something like that when I eat it for like the second and the third time and whatnot, so it's not all the same. But I mean, at least that's my plan. It would definitely be easier to just like make half a batch, but at least we went very gently on the parsnip. And why is this not melting? Come on. I'm improvising with my like pots a little bit. I'm supposed to be using like the big frying pan or whatever, but I'm using wok because that is what I have right now. So it is working out. I just wonder if like I just want to make sure the rice is well made, and that's why I started on it. I'm actually gonna turn up the heat on the rice just a little bit so that I don't have that much water going on. But the recipe is so easy. I actually haven't found a single hard recipe. Well, except for the obvious ones, like they made the minstrel's ballad croissant recipe as well. I was not surprised to see it. I was just, well, I have to admit, I am pretty intimidated by it, and that's probably not something I'll be trying anytime soon. I just want to get through the easy ones first to, I don't know, at least collect all the ingredients that I need for the book. And then I'll start with that one, even though I don't really need a lot of ingredients for it. But, like, I need, like, what, like 5 days of prep or something to make the damn croissants? It's like a lot. Not five, but like three at least. So it's not a very easy stream content anyway. Okay, so this is finally happening. The butter is finally starting to get melted, and I guess we'll wait for about 5 minutes, and then we'll mix in the rice. But I'm pretty happy that we have a head start on rice as well, because like I can hear it. Like this, what you hear is me tapping on the rice, and the rice is so hard. Like this is not their warrior rice that will just like go soft immediately. It does not do that. So I have to make sure. Like if I didn't know that by the end of this recipe, I'd be like, well, the book tricked me. I am now eating very hard rice, and that is not what we want to do. In the meantime, my broth is getting kind of, well, not cold, but not as warm as I'd like it to be. So as soon as I'm done with rice, I'm just gonna put the broth back so that it remains warm. I didn't really study the recipe in a way that I know what to do with it. Like in step 3 or 4 or whatever, I'm just basically blindly following the instructions. Not the best idea, always. But I think overall we'll be okay. Okay, so this is finally happening. Like one of my favorite activities while I'm cooking is like breaking apart the little pieces of onion that oh, you actually can't see what I'm doing. That's amazing. Um like breaking apart the little pieces of onion that you didn't cut very well. It's a very soothing thing to do. It makes you cry, but it is soothing. That's weird. Okay, so we need to let these sit here for about 2 minutes, and then we'll add in the rice. Did they say medium heat? I'm not sure. Let's see. Uh, in large pan over medium high heat, melt the butter. Okay, medium high is gonna be okay. gonna be this one. It's a small modification, but you know, we followed it so far. Let's see the reason to mess it up now. Oh, it already smells like parsnip. I'm so glad I didn't use more of it. I knew it. Like, that was like probably the, I don't know, like I avoid parsnip, and that was probably like the first time I went to the store and purposefully bought parsnip, and I was like, oh, you know, like I don't really want this. I'm sure I'm not gonna like this, but come on, let's do it. And I knew I was gonna complain about it, and here we are. Also, I don't know, it smells bad. Hopefully my food is not gonna smell bad because of it. But funnily enough, one of my favorite recipes so far was the black sesame cookies. I didn't think I was gonna enjoy making them all that much, and well, my least favorite part of that recipe was just kind of, you know, basically putting my fingers into that dough. I'm not a huge fan of that process, but the cookies were so good. That one was good. And what else did I try? I think it was the lemon cheesecake. Not cheesecake. Oh god, the lemon. What are they called? What are they called? Waffles. Oh my god, my brain just froze there. Like those were fun to make. I remember I was very nervous for that one because I'm pretty sure that was my first FF14 cooking stream, and I was like, well, I'm no expert on the waffles, and up until that point, I've never even made waffles that just kind of came out of the waffle maker all at once. Hi Hans, welcome back. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a good day. And I'm pretty sure it's been 2 minutes for this. Let me see what comes next. So we go in a large pan over medium high heat, melt the butter, add the onion, garlic, and parsnips, and cook, stirring occasionally until softened. About 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes. Add your warrior rice and start to cook the rice with the butter. Saute for 2 minutes, but do not let the rice brown. We are going to cook it in the broth, but I'm just glad that I let the rice sit there for a little bit. That's okay. I didn't add a lot of water either. It was only like a little bit to okay, and I'll pour it out because I want no water in this meal because I actually want the rice to be coated. What we're gonna do is we're gonna move the rice to the bigger pan. Okay. Hi Izzy! Welcome back! How are you today? Okay. This pan is so heavy. Jeez. It's the heaviest thing ever. Definitely a weapon. Okay. Okay, so they want us to coat the rice in the butter for about 2 minutes. Oh, that's fine. How is Elden Ring? How are you enjoying it? So the whole point of this is not to cook the rice in the, like, basically without water. You want to make sure that it's coated in butter, which is why you want to stir it for about, like, I don't know, 2 minutes or whatever. But they did say do not let the rice brown, which is pretty much the equivalent for be careful because you will mess up your meal. Oh, what about it is difficult? Like, is it just like a complicated game, or are the bosses and the combat and stuff difficult? Okay, add the white wine and stir constantly until all of the liquid is absorbed. How much of that wine do we need? We need 1/2 of a cup, which is 125 milliliters. Okay, we can do that. I'm gonna stir this at the same time and add the white wine. We will do our best, but I do not promise the lack of brown on our rice, like they asked us not to have. Okay, so 1/2 cup. Alright, let's do it. 1/2 cup. 125 milliliters. I think this should be just about enough. Combat is very hard because everything hits very hard. You need to be very precise with your dodges. I see. So is it in any way like Dark Souls when it comes to that? Oh, okay. Okay, they did say stir gently and do not be afraid. Oh, they didn't mention the fear thing, but you know. Oh, it is like Dark Souls. I see. Yeah, I was never any good at Dark Souls. You guys have been wanting me to play it on stream. Like, are you crazy? I wouldn't even get past the first boss. I'm not a very capable player. What do you mean? Play Dark Souls on stream. That'd be so bad. Alright, so add the white wine and stir constantly until all the liquid is absorbed. Slowly add the chicken broth in 1/2 cup increments. Okay. Alright, now apparently that matters as well. Oh, this is gonna be so good, right? Can you even see what I'm doing? Maybe, maybe not. Should probably have my camera lifted up a little bit. Okay, well, this is a very bad angle. You can see, you can somewhat see. Basically, open world Dark Souls. I see. Easy ones know how to time check fixes. This is unforgiving if you mess up. Yeah, admittedly though, the first time I tried Dark Souls it was on a controller, and I'm not a controller player, so that could have been, well, one of the factors. But I don't know, maybe I should revisit it. Try it again. You guys have been talking me into it. And Luneth is hopefully bringing it with him anyways. So I will be able to. I don't actually own the games, but I go I should be working right now. Have fun. Thank you for dropping by. I hope you have fun too, and have fun with Elden Ring. And I guess see you when you beat the game. That ever gonna happen? Can you even beat the game? I haven't even tried Elden Ring. I feel so, I don't know, misinformed. I feel like I'm living under a rock or something. I don't know, like I was never able to just kind of get used to the controller. They said add the broth, but like only a little bit of it. Okay. I can basically in 1/2 cup increments until the liquid is absorbed. That's fine. Oh my god, this is turning into so much rice. How am I gonna eat this? How am I gonna eat all of this? This can definitely feed a family. Oh, that's okay. That's fine. That's gonna be fun. I mean, it looks good, right? I didn't mess it up, and the broth is gonna cook the rice anyways, so hopefully it's gonna be perfectly edible. Alright. Oh, that was a bit too much. Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, I've been looking for a home RPG for a while now, and I used to play World of Warcraft, but with like all of the stuff that's been going on in WoW, and I guess my personal experience with raiding, because I was in a mythic guild that just pretty much required you to live World of Warcraft to be able to even raid. Then I slowly realized that it's not just a guild; it's pretty much the game requiring you to live the game in order to raid. And as a toddler mom, like that is not something I can do because I'm busy during the day. And it is also something that our guild leader couldn't understand. Um, well, I mean, he did understand. It's just it would leave consequences because I wouldn't be able to get the best gear. I wouldn't be able to progress as much and whatnot. So I just kind of realized that maybe mythic reading is not my thing in WoW, but I do enjoy competitive content as well. So I just kind of decided to, I don't know, try out Final Fantasy and see if I can get myself to that level without actually having to live the game. Hi, Ryan, how are you doing? Welcome back. What's up? Alright, last time I poured in a little too much, so now we have now we have a rice broth, pretty much. So I need to wait a little bit until the water is dissolved. I think that's what they're saying in the book anyways. Slowly add the chicken broth, which we're using the spring soup broth for.
In increments, stir until the broth is fully absorbed before adding more liquid. Repeat until
all of the broth is stirred in. Okay, so the rest of it is pretty easy. Used to play WoW 2 and have made switch to FF14 about 3 years ago and do not miss it. 14 is great because it's far more casual with its savage content. Yeah, I mean, uh, for the time being, like I can't say that I see myself going further than Savage because, admittedly, I haven't gone to Savage yet at all. I completed my MSQ just before Endwalker came out, and I still consider myself a pretty new player. I've been playing for less than a year, and as like the furthest I've gone into, like, I don't know, high end or end game or whatever content is the extreme trials, like the ones that are current. So for now, like the two of the current ones, I don't say the names because I promised the no spoiler stream. So that's pretty much all I've been doing. And I wanted to do the Savage, like, now, but I also moved like twice since the beginning of this year. And hopefully, I think I'm pretty settled out. I don't see myself moving anywhere uh, for the time being, or for a while at least. So hopefully, in the next year, I will be able to commit myself to it a little bit more. That's at least the idea. So we'll see how it works out. Hopefully, I get myself into Savage sooner rather than later. Anyways, I've been kind of disappointed with myself with not being able to do it um, in this patch, but it is what it is. Sometimes it's life kind of, life just kind of, gets in the way and you can't do it. Dip my toes into Savage, haven't finished a boss, but joined the group for a couple of hours. It is intense, but fun. Like, fun is pretty much what it's all about, and that's what I didn't used to understand when I played WoW. I was under so much pressure. I remember, crying and spending hours and hours and hours of trying to get a piece of gear that would, like, upgrade my 1% of stats or whatever. And now I'm starting to realize how much. Well, it did hurt my channel a little bit because I wasn't making any progress, and it hurt me as a person as well because I was kind of neglecting all the other things that I've been wanting to do. I stopped, like, I don't know, learning about YouTube. I stopped just doing the stuff that I wanted to do. I stopped reading books, listening to music, or whatever it is that I used to do before that, and I just committed myself to that, and it was very unhealthy. It was very damaging. Which with Final Fantasy is not the case. Of course, you have dailies, you have weeklies, you have stuff that you wanna make sure you do if you want to progress, but it's not as punishing, I guess. No, I don't think you should be worried about messing things up. Like, I used to have that attitude in WoW, but then I came over to Final Fantasy and I realized that most people are just okay with playing with other people who may not know the whole fight. It's like that's the kind of understanding that I expected from people when I started FF, and I'm not. I could not go as far as to say that I'm a good player now, but I do try to be, like, understanding towards people who have just joined the game, who have started leveling and whatnot, because everyone deserves that opportunity, and I do not think that you are the kind of player who ever messes things up. I think you should just worry a lot less, because at the end of the day, playing together is what it's all about. So there's no worries. Yeah, exactly. WoW Mythic is a job, and I didn't really used to realize that. Like, I had a job. Like, when I joined that Mythic WoW guild, I only just got myself partnered on YouTube, and I decided to go full in on that. And I was able to make just about enough off YouTube to be to, like, I don't know, to, like, go through the month without, like, I don't know, losing money and being able to pay for the bills and the food and everything. So I was like, okay, if this is working out, then I might as well, try and do the actual content creation. And then I joined the WoW guild, and I noticed that, like, my stats were going down because I was spending too much time on trying to improve my stupid gear instead of actually going out there and learning about what I'm supposed to do to grow my channel. So when I came to my senses and stopped playing stopped playing WoW, I realized just how little friends I had there. I had some really, really good friends who now play Final Fantasy with us. Some of them are over in the chat as well right now, and like they know the experience that I'm talking about when it comes to that particular guild. But like when that happened, like when I decided to to split and do this thing, like the backlash that I received from the guild leader and basically other members of the community as well, it was crazy. Like it just didn't feel good, and I didn't feel like I deserved that at all. Like why would anyone provide any other person with any backlash about the game that they want to play? And that's when I realized that like when you play WoW, you play WoW. That is your life, that is your job, that is your everything, and I don't know, like I just didn't want to be a part of it anymore because like my life can't afford that right now. Um, that's an interesting one. I really wish Mythic Plus from WoW for FF with no specifics. I think people want Mythic Plus, because because dungeons in FF are pretty casual content. People often use them for for leveling or for farming some glam or whatever. But some people actually like the dungeons themselves and would like to spend more time with them without necessarily doing something that they don't want to do. For example, someone who has all their characters at 90 and has most of the glam pieces from the dungeons, they have no business pretty much going to the dungeons except for maybe getting the tomes or whatever if they so choose. But you can only go there for a certain amount of time. Maybe they didn't decide to do Mythic Plus. This is just my assumption, but because they want to keep that policy of like if you complete the content within a certain patch, you can like go and take a break and basically come back to Final Fantasy when there's a new patch and you won't feel like you're missing out. Maybe adding something like a Mythic Plus would add that feeling of like missing out on that content if you're not in the game at that particular time. So I don't know. Maybe it's that, but maybe it's something different. Yeah, exactly. Like my my job was like making videos, editing, and whatnot, and then I log into the game and I do my job there. And it just felt like this endless cycle of things that I had to do, and I just kind of wanted to cut down on things that I had to do and do something that I wanted to do. And I think starting Final Fantasy was the hardest thing ever for me because I'm a very bad um like I'm very bad with new beginnings, right? It was very hard for me to log into this new game, install it, figure out the movements, figure out what I'm supposed to do. And I did for the longest time I didn't want to commit to like playing the game properly at all. Like I was just going through the story and I didn't like I wasn't using like half of my abilities. I sucked as a tank and everything, but like I'm not saying it was on purpose. But I'm saying I suffered from so much PTSD from WoW that I was just like I was unwilling to give the game more time and effort until I figure out whether or not I actually want to play it or not. For real. And it might have been unfair towards maybe, I don't know, people who would queue into into content with me. But it was just kind of my decision to, just kind of approach it very casually because I entered the Final Fantasy community extremely damaged, and I am much better off right now. So, I don't know. It probably speaks volumes, right? Uh, Yeah, I see. Well, you don't necessarily have to speak in voice. Like we have some people within the community who never use the voice chat. They listen, but they type within the chat, and there's never been any problems with communication. Uh, uh, I seem serious with WoW. See, if it was a ruinous experience, I refuse offering anymore. Let's refuse WoW because it isn't fun for me. I see. I don't know. As a WoW officer, you just kind of feel like a manager within a company. It's like sometimes you have to be a certain way towards people, and you have to make sure you're I don't know, you're tasking them with things you normally don't want to be tasking them with, and like I don't know, like it really feels like a job, like a position. So yeah, I'm definitely like I'm enjoying the community more than anything. Like I've never had this good of a community that I've actually made friends in, and I've been having such an amazing experience within not just the streaming community, but also on our servers. I'm on Lich on Light, and people there are so nice. And throughout this whole MSQ journey, and just getting myself to the point where I don't know where I was a decent player at least. Like I've been receiving nothing but understanding from people. I didn't really have any bad experiences or anything, which contrasts my experience with World of Warcraft because in WoW, if you're new to a class or a spec or something like that, you better not tell anyone. You know, like I remember trying to tell people that I was new at something. I tried leveling a tank in WoW because I really wanted to tank, and I've been playing WoW for like 5 years, and I was a feral druid main, so I decided to level monk as a tank, and I was dreadful, and people would just like kick me out of the group whenever I would say, "Hey, I'm a new tank." You know, they're like, "Why are you queuing the dungeon with us? Why are you not leveling in some other way? Please do not, basically do not queue dungeons until you get good." And it just felt so bad. And there was this one time when one person who was a DPS, they were like, "Just just stop tanking. I will tank because you don't know how to do it." I was like, "I'm trying. Like I'm doing my absolute best." And 50% of FF14 are PTSD ex-WoW players. Unfortunately, I have to agree with that. Uh, most players in WoW only want to play WoW and they want FF14 to be the same experience. I get that. Like I had the hardest time just kind of switching from like WoW as something that I used to know to Final Fantasy, which was like a completely unfamiliar thing. And I felt like it felt bad to switch to it because I felt like I was giving up something that I was decent at for something that I absolutely suck at. And I don't know. I mean, is that weird? I don't know. Like that was for me was the hardest thing. But I realize now that I look back at it, there's a lot of ego involved in uh in that mindset because you have to have like your ego has to be like through the roof to not want to try a new thing because you're gonna suck at it. Like of course you're gonna suck at it. And over time I just kind of learned to deal with it and be okay with it. The dungeon I had this once where an ex-WoW player demanded better DPS and one like in a dungeon. Dungeons are like if we're talking like leveling roulettes and stuff, like oh my god, like what are these people even doing? Another player scolded him because he left WoW because of this and doesn't want to see this behavior seep into his game, which is totally justifiable. In WoW, it's the culture. It is just the way it is, and I'm just happy that in Final Fantasy is it's a little different. Uh, I'm still a good player, and I still screw up Murd Mage, but love playing all classes. It's horrible. Yeah, I mean, I didn't. Do you know how like people often compare like being in WoW with like a bad toxic relationship? Like I cannot compare those two experiences because like if you've ever been in a really bad, really toxic relationship and it lasted a long time, chances are you didn't even realize how bad and toxic it was until the relationship ended or until it was I don't know too late to salvage it or whatever. So so from that point of view, I didn't even know WoW was the game that I wasn't really having fun in. I thought that that was the pinnacle of fun that I could have, and I couldn't even imagine the utopia, of logging into a game where everyone's treating each other nicely, even though they are I don't know, gear or progress or whatever. Like, I didn't understand that people could be nice towards each other and still have goals and still not want to have their time wasted uh, within the game. Of course, it's not okay to go into Final Fantasy and waste someone's time. There are some extremes where, well, not extreme trials, but like extreme cases, right? Where you will, I don't know, you will feel like someone is actively wasting your time because they failed to do like the bare minimum. Maybe I don't know. Maybe look at the guide for I don't know, for a boss that's like new that everyone's progressing on anyways. Like maybe someone is just like AFKing and I don't know, queuing into a dungeon, but they're also doing some other things on the side and they're not healing or not tanking or not having their stance on or something like that. There are instances in which you will see people trying less hard than what they normally, I don't know, would in WoW because otherwise they'd be kicked out of the group. But I think those are just the extremes. You don't really see a lot of these people. Um, uh, uh, uh. Yeah, I mean, having basic knowledge is enough for you to be able to enjoy the game. If you don't want to queue into harder content, you don't have to. You can just do whatever it is that you want. If you want to do housing, you don't have to be a decent player. If you want to do glam, I mean, okay, in some instances you do have to be a decent player because there are some glam pieces that drop from like harder content. But you know, for most things in game, like the side stuff that you want to do and just have fun, like you don't have to play the game at all. You don't have to have gear. You don't have to do anything. Like to go into gold saucer, you can just go naked without any gear. Still do it. Yeah, I don't know. Like I mean, with WoW, I think it's also the I don't know. It's also the neglect of managing the game because if you have really strong management team in a way that they will actively enforce the rules and ban people for breaking those rules or making someone feel bad or whatever, then you're not gonna be in this position where your game is just going to shit because people know that if they don't respect each other, that they are just gonna get banned and that's it. So I think that letting go of that social structure of management is essentially the its downfall because you know that like if you're an FF, if you're I don't know, if you're guild trading, you know that at some point you're gonna get banned. If you are being an asshole to other people, you know that at some point you're gonna get banned. Like there are cases where people are banned and it's not justifiable or not okay or whatever. Where something I don't know stupid happens and someone just gets banned for no reason, but that doesn't normally happen. Like normally, what you'll have is people who are aware of the fact that they shouldn't be jerks to one another, and I like that. Feeling something is the first step to be good at something. Exactly, like you gotta be failing a little bit first. I got a chance to play WoW. Very interested, but can't afford the time to grind on it. Oh, you're not missing much. If you're already in Final Fantasy, which you are, you really I don't know. You shouldn't get yourself concerned with that because there's nothing that you can get into to just try it out. That's the thing with WoW. There's a huge like jump that you need to make to be able to do content with other people, and you can still like people still trade real money for gear. So if you want to just try it out without spending, months and months to grind out the gear or whatever, you pretty much have to go to the Insta route and basically pay real money to get gear to even get access to the content, which in Final Fantasy is really not the case. So I don't know. Yeah, WoW is a good game for someone with like unlimited access to time. If you have a lot of time, even if you don't want to pay for the game, you can still be pretty good at the game. You can have fun. You can grind out your gear. You can have high DPS. You can spend time to learn your classes. You can level your alts and be and be pretty good at them and have them geared and be flexible in your guild and be able to switch from one all to another and do all these things. But if you don't have a lot of time, WoW is probably not the game for you. I mean, I didn't know about WoW in my school days. Like my first big serious game was Hearthstone. And I don't know, like I still miss Hearthstone. Like I wish I could find some time to play it, but it's also a very time consuming game. Yeah, you can log in and play like 1 or 2 games a day, but still, I don't know. Like it's such a big time investment for me because I would just instantly get sucked into it, just like right back in, and it's not something that I can afford to do. Oh, for a beginner in WoW, the story is very hard to get into unless you spend like hours and hours watching like videos on YouTube that are like recaps of things that you missed. So most of the time if you're missing something amazing, not so much now. Yeah, unfortunately. And it's very hard. Lore wise it's very hard to get into it. Content wise it's very hard to get into it. WoW is basically a game right now for people who have been playing it for like 10 years or so. So wow, I mean, Demolock and Doomkin. I bet you were having a lot of fun with your Demolock in the past like couple of years. I mean, I've been wanting to try it for like years and years, but every time I wanted to try it, it was just really bad. So I never really got the chance to play it. I made the Destrolock, and it's kind of unfortunate. Like you are literally not allowed to play a certain class if you're in a guild, if you're doing any sort of progress. Like they will just not have you. Like they didn't want to have me as a feral druid. I have to switch to warlock because they didn't want no ferals in Shadowlands. Well, I get that, but it still felt really bad. Yeah, like no one gets the WoW story right now. You shouldn't be worried about that at all. Like it's just right now what's happening. Like if you saw like the last trailer, not trailer, but like cinematic for the last raid or whatever, it is not incomprehensible just for you. Everyone thinks it's incomprehensible. No one understands what's happening, and it's not the good kind of misunderstanding that you get at the I don't know at the end of an expansion MSQ in FF14, like those cryptic, letters and cutscenes and stuff that later on get explained. That is just not what that is not what happens in WoW. It just remains incomprehensible. Okay, so we are out of broth. Remove from the heat and stir in the cottage cheese and parmesan, season with salt and pepper. Okay, so basically, this is pretty much it. Once all of your broth has been absorbed and the rice is fully cooked now, so that's good news. We need to remove it from the heat. I will just create a little bit of space for that. Do it here. Okay, and turn off all the... Okay, there we go. Actually forgot to turn the top one off as well. But we're fine now. Okay, so basically we have our rice. What we need to do is stir in the cheese. That is strange. I bought my Parmesan cheese as well. Oh, there it is. Why didn't I put it in the fridge? What the hell? Okay, so we have okay, so basically this is not really cottage cheese. What you want to do with this thing is you want to stir in the cottage cheese. This is something similar. It is not the real cottage cheese though, but I do like it. We have cottage cheese here, is what I was gonna say, but I didn't go to that particular store. The store that I went to is the store in my neighborhood, and that store just didn't have cottage cheese at the time. Um, we need 200 grams of cottage cheese, which is pretty much, okay, a little less than a half of this whole thing. Okay, there we go. So what you can do is you can stir this one in, and once you add the rice to the bowl, then you can sprinkle it with Parmesan, I suppose. I mean, that's what I would do anyways. Someone would just like sprinkle Parmesan over their, like over the meal in the actual pan, but I don't want to do that. Haven't played it since 6 years ago. Emma has been on the underdog for ages, not sure about now. Like, I know that at some point during Shadowlands, I don't know, it became good. Because my guild leader started talking to me about starting to main Demolock, and I was like, no, hell no! Like, I spent 6 months learning Demolock. I'm not not Demolock, Destrolock, because I had to switch from my Feral Druid. And I was like, I'm not about to switch over to demo now, and there was a big backlash there as well. I never thought about making vlogs or something like that. I have, but like I never feel like I have something to say. It's like, I mean, what do you even like? What would I even talk about? Like the excitement of my single mom life. And like my everyday nonsense. Like, what is it that I would even vlog about? I'm not sure. I mean, these streams are kind of what I use to, I guess, vent about like all these things that are not just Final Fantasy, but like the stuff that I want to talk about with you guys. So this is I think this is kind of my vlog time, if I ever had one. But what makes you ask that? That got me curious. Maybe I should. The best thing about WoW was the binary about Natalie Portman and No Regard. What? I don't know what that is. What? I know about the binary thing, because it was like the machine, if that's what you're talking about, because it was used for one of the puzzles. Anyway, this is what I wanted to show you. I wasn't sure if you could see it. This is what it looks like when you mix in the cheese. Do use cottage cheese. I'm using something very, very similar. I don't know the translation, but it looks like cottage cheese. It's just not called cottage cheese over here. But I can with almost full certainty say that it's pretty much the same thing. Anyway, our rice is done, and then what they say you should do is stir in the cottage cheese and Parmesan, season with salt and pepper. I would much rather, just like take a bowl and then fill the bowl with rice and then sprinkle Parmesan. That's usually how I have Parmesan. If you want to do it the other way, if you just want to add it straight to the pan, then you can do that. But I want to try it like this. Also, you need to season it with salt and with pepper, because salt and pepper were not added to the process earlier. Like I said, I'm allergic to pepper, so I don't really add pepper, but I will maybe add a little bit of salt to my food. This is what it looks like without the Parmesan cheese. I think it looks pretty good. So, and now we're gonna open the cheese. Like, I only just moved here like a couple of months ago, and everything I have is pretty much new. Like, I'm not yet at the point where I have just like stashes of stuff. Like, every time I'm missing something. So, sprinkle. Okay, like for me, sprinkles are just about enough. I don't want to overdo it. That's why I didn't mix it in the first place. Okay. And then if you want, you can add a little salt. I don't prefer salty food, but with rice, it's kind of okay for it to, you know, have some taste. Anyway, this is what we got. I think it looks pretty good. They do say, scoop generous portions into 6 bowls and top each one with furikake. Furikake is apparently a Japanese spice that I do not have access to right now, so I will not be using it. So this is the exact cheese only risotto without the spice. You can use any other spice, I'm sure, that you like. Basically, the picture of the food is this. So you can kind of tell that the spice is like a greenish thing. I don't really have anything else that I personally want to put onto it, so I will just ignore that part. What I do want is to taste this one. I hope it's not too hot. I wonder if the rice is overcooked. I don't think it should be. Oh my god. Guys, this is amazing. You gotta make this. Jeez, this is my new favorite kind of rice. This is so good. It's like creamy. You can taste like the tinge of wine, but not too much. The rice is not overcooked. The rice is just perfect for some reason, even though we've been cooking it for ages. It's soft, but at the same time, it still has structure. And that Namazu, he was right. Parmesan really adds something special to it. It's like very creamy. Very good. This has got to be one of my most high quality recipes ever. I love it. It's perfect. Oh my god, guys, you gotta make this. You have got to make this risotto. It is so perfect. Can't stop eating it. It's too hot though. It looks good. It tastes good. It smells good. It's actually really cheap. I mean, it's what, a little bit of cottage cheese, I don't know, cheap wine, rice, and like chicken broth or, you know, any kind of soup broth that you want to use. It's not an expensive meal, and like onions and garlic, you pretty much have all of this stuff at home. So this is definitely recommended. When it comes to today's stream, I also have to apologize once again for the mic thing. My mic has passed away, and we're using the shitty mic from my old camera that I'm not very proud of, but I'm gonna have to order a new mic first thing, which is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. So hopefully sometime during next week I am going to have it available, and yeah, this is a very short term dip in quality when it comes to that. But when it comes to today's stream, that is pretty much going to be it. I will be streaming later on tonight at 9 p.m. Central European Time, which is 3 p.m. EST. We're going to continue probably with my astrologian. There's a lot of lore to go through. I think I'm like 65 or so, and I really wanna push to 70 so that I can complete all the quests up until like Stormblood or so, and then start off with the role quest, hopefully tomorrow, depending on how much I invest myself into leveling. But I really do want to. So my next few streams will be mostly focused on finishing up Astro, and starting the Shadowbringers role quest. And then, since this is my last role quest series that I need to do in Shadowbringers, then there's gonna be that big role quest to look forward to. Probably, maybe this week, maybe next week. I think I should do it this week if I manage to go through the quests. That's not gonna be this week. It's gonna be next week. Sorry. But yeah, that's the plan for my Astro. And then after that, since my healer quests, role quests, are the last ones that I need to do in Endwalker, as soon as the patch hits, we are going to have that big role quest for Endwalker as well. I'm looking forward to it. and I think it's gonna be awesome. You should definitely make this risotto. It is so good. Like I'm not gonna lie, I don't often brag about my food, but damn, this is pretty good. Anyway, I will see you tonight on my second stream. Like I said, 9 p.m. Central European Time, 3 p.m. EST. I will be scheduling it on the channel soon. And yeah, I have done some crafting. My crafters are between like 60 and 70, so they're not maxed out yet. But I've been kind of casually dipping into it. I've been trying to level them all at the same time, and so far have been pretty successful at it. So I think soon I'll be having the I'll be having my Omni crafters as well ready to go. Uh, yeah, you can use beef stew. You can use the well, you make the beef you made the beef stew from the Final Fantasy book. I didn't know there was one in there. But on the other hand, I haven't really been looking at meat recipes because I'm a vegetarian, so I just kind of ignore them for now. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Well, not for today, but for now. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you had fun, and I will be seeing you very soon. Anyway, have a good rest of your day or your weekend. If I don't end up seeing you, if you're not on our Discord, you can join in. There's a link, I think, in the description. Basically, you can find all these awesome people from the chat there as well, and we're an awesome bunch. You should join. But anyway, that's it. Take care, have fun, see you later, and bye bye. I don't know how to turn off my stream when I do those kitchen streams because everything just gets messed up, but I will do my best. Oh god. Alright, bye guys.